Khairete o piloi kai pilai intes epites ges. Today I'm going to answer the question, how do you get started with the Greek alphabet? Someone sent that question in, and it's a great question. People often ask me, particularly when they're studying their Greek studies, how do you come to terms with the alphabet? And the first thing I say is, think of the alphabet as a bit like a speed hump. That is, at the start of your Greek studies, it seems like a big obstacle, and it's slowing you down. But later on, you'll just fly right over it. But you don't start at that point, so you need to get to that point. How do you get there? The second thing to think about the alphabet is it's not that hard, but it will take some time. It will take some explicit instruction. You can learn ancient Greek starting without the alphabet if you want to start in a totally oral communicative way. But most people won't do that. And so what you should do is you should get to work on it in a way very similar to the way that children first are taught reading and writing. That is, with some explicit instruction in reading and writing. But you have all the tools of your adult brain, and the fact that you learn one writing system, you can learn ancient Greek. So you will need to do one thing first, and that is you'll need to make a choice about the pronunciation scheme you want to start with, which probably deserves its own video. Are you going to use a reconstructed classical pronunciation, a reconstructed Kyne, Koine? Are you going to use modern Greek? Are you going to follow our friend Scorpio Martianus, Luke Ranieri, or are you going to do something else? That's worth considering first. And then from that point, there are a number of videos on YouTube that will just walk you through the alphabet. But what you want to do is you want to take each letter, associate it with a sound. And if you have the biblical languages center material, they do this really well, associating with a sound, getting used to this letter and this sound. Make that close association in your brain. And so you don't need to do all the letters at once. You just need to do a few each session, each time. And hopefully you're not in a hurry. Try and get started on the alphabet before you begin any other study. And then you want to practice two things in particular. You want to practice writing them with a pen or other writing implement. You want to learn to write Greek physically. And I suggest you also early on learn to type Greek. There's a number of methods for doing that, particularly polytonic Greek. There's a keyboard layout that you can put on Windows. Same with Mac systems, Apple systems. You should learn to type Greek early on. But once you get the sounds for a few letters, then move on and build on what? On syllables, on words. Start reading out words. If you can find something to listen to where you can see the words, even better. So you can start associating sounds, not just with letters, but with combinations, syllables, words. Even if you don't understand what the words mean, you'll get there. And so you just want to build that up slowly, writing, tracing, reading aloud, hearing, all those kinds of things, and just build it up until you're feeling comfortable, at least at the start, to read aloud some Greek that you see in front of you. If you're working with a teacher, even better. But if you're not, you still want to be doing this, and then listening to recordings of passages read, so that you can hear something with the text in front of you and associate that way. At first, when you read out loud, it's going to be slow, it's going to be stilted. That's okay. Just lean into it, accept that, and go with it. Because the more you do it, and particularly the more you read aloud, and particularly once you get to the stage of understanding what you're reading, the easier and easier it will come. And there's a physical process of actually speaking that you need to get your mouth actually moving and making those sounds with your vocal cords that mentally reading or even sub-vocalizing won't do. So that's my advice for getting started with the alphabet. Take it slow, make it physical, make it practical, and get into it early so that you can get going faster with the language itself.